Hello and welcome, my name is Clown, and today I'm going to talk about ISEKAI FRONTLINES. Now, this is a game made by the same devs as ISEKAI Quest, which, you know what, it's weird. It's like two completely different games, right? That one's a match 3, this one's a Vampire Survivor clone. I mean, I guess that's technically the difference, because other than that, they are both H games, yet they share such, like, literally the same problems, which is like the strangest thing, because, to be fair, it's not like the problems are unique to ISEKAI Quest and ISEKAI FRONTLINES. I feel like a lot of H games have like especially when they're really short, they have like a difficulty problem. And this one kind of has that too. I guess it's not even necessarily a difficulty thing, it's more of a grinding thing, which is very annoying. But on top of having like the same issues, I feel like they have the same pros also. It's very weird. So let's kind of start off bad to good. So ISEKAI Quest had like the really big issue for me that it was like the difficulty ramped up like crazy. You would like fight one of the girls, you know, you'd take her down and you're like, oh, this is kind of easy, but then it would just kind of like, it would ramp up the difficulty a lot every fight. And this is kind of the same thing here, where the first boss is like really easy. You could beat the first boss without ever leveling up anything. You just go into it and then do it. But then the second boss, but you get like immediately swarmed and murdered, which is like, okay, so then you go and grind a little bit and you're like, okay, I should be ready, and then you're not, and it's like, what the hell? And it literally had the same solution that fucking ISEKAI Quest had, which was cheat. Cheat on the fucking game and you will pass it, which is really funny. And the way you cheat is the same. You just get money and level the shit out of your skills and everything, and then boom, you're winning now. Also, another thing that was strangely similar is, you know, it's kind of weird to say that a match 3 doesn't feel good to play, but that was kind of the thing with ISEKAI Quest. I feel like it didn't feel good to play ISEKAI Quest. It's a weird thing because it's a match 3. It's like, what kind of feeling do you get from a match 3? And I don't know, it just sort of lacked that sort of satisfaction that I got when playing like Honey Pop. Because Honey Pop has a great match 3. This game, or ISEKAI Quest, didn't. And same thing with ISEKAI FRONTLINE. Now, to be honest, I've only ever played one other survivor type, I don't know, so Vampire Survivor clone, which was Hollow Cure. But, I mean, Hollow Cure is, like, really good, a really good clone. This game just did not feel that great to play. I don't know why, I felt like all of, like, the skills were kind of weak. And I don't mean weak as in like they did no damage, I mean weak as in they weren't like interesting or fun to look at. Nothing ever felt like, oh damn, I really got the good one this time. It was a lot more gradual and a lot less flashy, and maybe that is what they were going for, but you know, it's also not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for some good stuff, you know, like you get this item and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this all the way to the end. There's also another thing, I don't know why the boss battles were just straight, like, it was just like a straight boss battle where you didn't get any of your extra items or anything. You just had to go in there with what you already had. I mean, you had to buy your items beforehand instead of, you know, finding them through playing the game. So at that point, it wasn't even like a Vampire Survivor clone. It was just like a wave and then a boss. Just a single one though, which, sad. However, we get to the good part now. Starting off with a little bit of bad and the good, and same thing as with ISEKAI Quest. I thought that the music in the H scenes was so weird. It made it feel like, I guess technically, like the button literally says dominate, so I guess the music fits, but it's still weird. It's not like a good mood setter music. It's like it's like the enemy is the protagonist and you're the antagonist and you're in their story, and that's the music that plays. I don't know, it's weird. But the actual H content, really good. Always really good. Only thing that sucks is that there just wasn't like very much of it with like the main characters. Like, yeah, all the enemies had some, but like the main characters was like weak as hell. Like, it sucked. Like, genuinely, the main characters, they had like some really bad hentai. Generally, I think the death scenes were alright. They were okay, but like the main event scenes, they just didn't cut it. The enemies though, they had some really good ones though. Also, I completely forgot about this. The game's not even finished. It's the same thing as with ISEKAI Quest. I mean, I like it when they keep adding stuff, but if you like release a game, at least don't say coming soon. pretend like you finished it and then just release more content. That way it makes me feel like I'm getting more than just, well, no, that's it. Literally just makes me feel like I'm getting more content after the fact. It's like, wow, they're so nice, instead of being like, no, yeah, we didn't finish the game. It's like, oh, okay then, you know, maybe don't put, you know, an icon that says wait for DLC, and it's like, what the hell, just don't even tell me about it, just release it later. And that way I'm like, oh shit, time to go back to Isekai Frontlines. But instead, now I'm like, okay, so they just didn't do it. Either way, honestly, I just wanted this to be a sort of return to form to how I used to make my videos for once. Just because it's an isekai game, I felt like I was gonna go back to the slightly more critical clown. So yeah, honestly, despite that, I still enjoyed it. Like the thing about Isekai Quest is that I came around to it after a while. And Isekai Frontlines, I probably will too. Once, you know, it gets more of its stuff in, you know, they're probably gonna release Shimmy V2. And if you don't know who Shimmy is literally just a Nagatoro clone that they put in Isekai Quest, and now they're gonna put Shimmy 2 in here. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting. So I will see you guys on the next video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your time awake. That's fine. Goodbye.